Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful Saturday morning, and I am getting ready to cut some firewood. I've been cutting lots of firewood lately. Me and my help. I got a couple of guys helping me do this. Not today, but they normally would be here, but they're not today. One of them's helping my dad today, and the other one, I don't know where he's at, but anyway, he's not here. He might come in later. But well, the sun's shining so bright you can't see anything. But okay, so we've used a lot of this pile here. I wished I had took some video before we started this year, because this pile was all the way out to this pile, to the end of, or actually past these concrete things, and then that pile right there came all the way up to right here. So we've already used a lot of wood out of here, and I've already sold a lot of wood, because not only was all this area full, sorry about the sun this morning, it's bright. Not only was all that full, but I had this bin, and I didn't video any of this, and I don't know why. I should have, but I had this bin completely full, mounded over. It was completely mounded up, and the wood went all the way out onto the asphalt, past the end of the bin, and that's how it was sitting there over the summer, which I sold a few loads here and there over the summer. Let me get in here where the shade is. Cut this thing off, I was letting it warm up, but I sold a few loads this summer. But then when it got about, well, it was Labor Day, I put 2 loads of wood out on the road and for sale, and I didn't really have any calls on Labor Day. But that next week, after Labor Day and the weeks after that, it was just call after call after call, and everybody wanted. I put a 2-ton truck, that's our red truck, I put it out there, and I put the green one out there, and everybody wanted the big one. So I was loading this wood out of here on that big truck, and got every bit of it out of here in a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. And now we've cut enough probably to fill it up completely again, but I keep hauling out of here fast enough that it doesn't ever get full. I cut this pile right here yesterday evening in about an hour and a half, so I figure there's like at least 1.5 cords of wood there. So anyway, this machine cuts about, I figured at 1 cord an hour. It actually does a little bit better than that if you have somebody feeding wood to you with the excavator, which a lot of times I don't, but yesterday I did. So there might be 2 cords of wood there. It actually will cut a little more than 1 cord an hour with a proficient operator. So anyway, I'm going to get started, cut some wood. This isn't all the logs I have either. I bought 20 tractor trailer loads of logs at the end of the winter or into the beginning of the spring last year. I hauled logs when we was working in Martinsville, I took a tractor trailer with me every day and hauled a load of logs back home with me every evening, 20 times. So there's a huge pile of logs up there on the hill where I store the extra logs that I can't put down here. But I put as much down here as I possibly could, so I didn't have to move them down here later. But anyway, that's the way it goes. You just can't get them all down here. I just ain't got enough room down here. So I'm going to go ahead and start cutting now. I'm going to get the machine warmed up, and then I'll turn the camera on. I'm going to have to charge the camera a few minutes. It's kind of dead, so see y'all in a little bit. Hey everyone, how's it going? I didn't get to film any wood cutting that day because things switched around, and I think I ended up going to mowing hay instead of cutting wood.
so I didn't get to film. My battery was dead, and while I was charging it for a while, then I cut a little bit of wood, and then I decided I need to go cut some hay. So because the weather had switched around some, and anyway, I went and worked on that instead of cutting wood. So what I want to do is show y'all some footage of me splitting some of these bigger logs up that I hauled in with the 325. So this happened. When did this happen? I think early spring when I was doing this. We had a little bit of snow, so you're going to see some snow. This is not this year. This is well, it is this year, but it was back in the beginning of this year, not now. We hadn't had any snow yet this year, unfortunately. So all right. So don't get confused. That's what's going on. We're going back a few months. This is right before the pandemic, I believe, or right as it was starting is when this happened. All right.
It's snowing. I guess y'all can see the snow in the camera, but we're not pushing snow yet because there's really not any snow here yet. But if it gets to that point, that's what we're going to do today, is push snow. But right now we hadn't got to that point yet. So what we're doing right now is I've been hauling some logs in with the truck here. I've already unloaded the front bunk, but I still got the rear bunk that I need to unload. This is firewood logs. I've been stocking up, trying to stock back up on some firewood logs. And yeah, I run completely out there at one time, and now I'm just trying to get stocked back up while I can buy them. The guy that I normally buy them off of is in a good area that has a lot of chestnut oak, which is what most of this here is that you're looking at. I see a little bit of white oak up there, but this pile here's got a lot of that tree that I cut up the other day that was in our parking lot. But yeah, I'm just trying to get stocked back up. This pile here is wood that needs to be split with the 325 and the stump splitter. It's all too big for my processor, so I got to work on that at some point. And I got some stuff over here that I've already split. You can see where I've split it up, split the whole logs with the stump splitter. All right, so it's still snowing, but it's not accumulating on the roads at all, so we're not going to be pushing any snow. We got maybe an inch on the ground. It ain't much. So what I'm going to do the rest of the day, it's about getting close to 4 o'clock, is I'm going to start splitting these logs right here that are too big for my wood processor. I'm going to split them up here with the 325. All right, I've had him warming up for a little while, so should be ready to go. Get the door closed. This is going to be our first customer. Split really easy because it was hollow in the middle, but some of these are going to split a little whether that one is small enough. I think it is. I think we can get that in there. If not, we'll just reject it back out and do it again. The rest of them are good. Alright, this one here is solid, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Should be able to do it with a little bit of work here. Decision as to whether you think it'll fit. I think it'll be close. Right there was a rough old crooked log. Let me split this knot right here. Knot, I won't be able to do nothing with that. Be able to work that now. It's kind of hard to pick up stuff with this thing without destroying it. What are you going to work on next? Here's a smaller one. This chestnut oak, it's going to split pretty good. That'd be good enough on that, I believe. Throw it over here. That's the go pile there. It'll go in the machine. Pick out another one. And go. That's good. Another holler log. Guess so. Yeah, I should go there. That'll go in there. could process them by hand, but that would take more time than they're worth, really, I guess. If you got something like this, it makes it a whole lot better. Because you can do this, and you can still process them with high production in your machine and not lose time. Well, you look just the time to split them up. You do get a lot of wood out of a big log like this. You get more wood out of it than you do a little log, obviously. Well, unless they're hollow, like that one. That one was hollow. Here's one with a big old knot on it. Let's see if we can bust it. Alright, sometimes if you can't bust them, just try and move to a different spot. Still won't go, move to a different spot. Try to stay in line with where you were at in the log all the way across. Just keep punching on it. And most of the time, you will win. Nice piece of wood put in the processor. Before, it was going to be impossible to put it in there. Here we got a big knot on the end of this. Let's chop it up a little bit. Can't do nothing with it knot. I'll just cut it off with a chainsaw and go on. There we go. That ought to take care of that. I'll probably just throw that knot away. Grind it into bolt. Not really throw it away, but not use it for firewood. There we go. We can deal with that. Find another one. This one would fit other than this knot right here, so I'll put it in the split piles. Now it'll definitely fit. Split in half right here. Well, that wasn't a half, but that's that'll go in the machine anyway. Got a few crumbs laying here now. Makes a few crumbs when you're doing this, but it ain't too bad. You don't lose a whole lot, you lose a little bit. Look at that nerve. That's a nasty looking old log right there. I don't know. Split that off. Probably had to cut the crook out of that so we can do something with it. Small enough, just really crooked. I'll work on that with a chainsaw when we get to it. Just chop this one up a little more. have it. Pile of split up wood. Now this thing right here is not designed to split logs. I'll just put that out there. It's actually designed to split stumps. And what it's for is to get the dirt out of a stump so you can either burn it or you can run it through a horizontal grinder or a tub grinder without all the dirt and the rocks being up in the roots of the stump. Because once you start splitting that stump up, the dirt and the rocks will just fall out of it. Then you can burn it or do whatever you need to with it. That's what this thing was designed for, but we just kind of accidentally figured out that it does this rather well, and we use it to do this right regular, just because of the wood processor. But one thing I figured out doing this, it's just like splitting it up with your wood splitter, kind of, as far as helping it dry out. A great old big red oak or something like that will stay wet inside for a long time, and if you split it up, it can go ahead and be drying out a lot faster while it's waiting to be processed. Because obviously I got a lot of wood sitting here that needs to be processed before I get back in here to this stuff. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Sorry we're not getting enough snow to push. My plan today was to make a video of pushing snow, and it just didn't happen. So I can't help with that, I can't help that. So anyway, maybe the next snow will be better, but there's not any snow in the forecast right now, so who knows when that'll be. And it's February the 20th today, so we're running out of winter time. We may not get much snow. So anyway, we'll get back at it, and we'll see y'all later.